I am at loss for words, guys. I am at loss for words. This movie. You know what? Welcome everyone to another review. This time for the movie Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Well, I won't say mind blown. I'll say partially blown. Not, yeah. Instead of, it's just. um, this movie. I want to say this movie was everything. It was everything the hype it was. No, that's the wrong words. It lived up halfway. That's the best way I can put it. It lived up halfway to what it was. I say that because even the rumors were halfway true. Halfway. But let me give you a synopsis there. I'm gonna break it down to you what I'm conveying to you. Is that Doctor Strange casts a forbidden spell that opens a portal to the multiverse. However, a threat emerges that may be too big for this team to handle. So, the first things first. I like what they. I don't know if they've been doing this, so let me know in the comments down below. But you know, when you go see a Marvel movie, they do the whole Marvel logo intro when they start showing the Marvel logo, Marvel Studios, but they show like the different clips and stuff from the different movies. The one thing that I noticed here, they did like a kind of like a Black Panther thing, like how they did for T'Challa, where they had a Pacific logo for everything Black Panther. They didn't do that. They didn't do it all the way here for Doctor Strange. They did it like it came on and started like normal, and then like towards the end of the whole Marvel logo intro, Marvel Studios logo intro, like the last clips they showed was all Doctor Strange, everything Doctor Strange. So that was a cool thing right there. The movie itself pick up. I want to say I think it's like 3 to 6 months later after Spider-Man No Way Home, and the spell that they talk about, to my knowledge, the spell that obviously that should be the spell they talk about is the spell he did in Multiverse and Spider-Man No Way Home. Because in the movie, I can tell you that much, he did not do a spell that opened the portal up to the multiverse. So the only thing they could be talking about is the spell from Spider-Man No Way Home. But the effects of that movie is what plays into this. So it makes sense why this movie had to come out after Spider-Man, because it would have been weird to have this come out before Spider-Man. Then there's a line in the movie that talk about the events of Spider-Man No Way Home. So you kind of get it why it had to. But this movie, I want to get that out the way. The visuals, the sound, everything they really put everything they had into this to make everything sound and look crisp and visually good. The CGI was good. All that was good. But more of a story kind of set up here. So basically, like I said, 3 to 6 months later, American Chavez is being chased by a demon. She's been helped by a particular Strange, and events happen. There's something that's shown here that's going to play a key role into the movie, and then Chavez finds herself in the main in the MCU. Now, they do one of the things I like that they actually do, like how the comic books do. When they got into the multiverse part of the comic books, they actually start telling you what the numbers for the Earth. And here we find out that the number for the main MCU Earth is Earth 616 or Earth 616. And just for contrast, the Illuminati Earth, the Earth where the Illuminati group resides, is Earth 838. So that was one of the things I loved about this movie, that we actually getting, just like how they doing with the Flash and on the CW, where they actually tell you the numbers of their Earth. We actually getting that in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, like I said, back to the story, America Chavez, she whatever's going on, it lands her right into the main MCU, or Earth 616, and now she run doing, this all, then there's a wedding that this take place, and this is how Strange meet her, and then they go on this epic adventure to try to keep her safe from whoever's attacking her. Of course, I won't say it's a necessary like bad thing, but the fact that he figured out who it was relatively quickly, like almost like it was only, I think 20, maybe 25 minutes into the movie, you found out who's actually after her. So I'll let you put it to you like that. It might be a little bit longer, but relatively, like I said, it was early on. It was like in the beginning parts of the movie when this had happened. And maybe I'll just be a nitpicky, but I was like, I kind of hope they would drag out quicker than that. But hey, like that one, when the pace of this movie picks up, and I'm gonna continue on about that in a minute. But when the pace of this movie picks up, it doesn't stop. It doesn't release its foot off the gas until the end, until almost towards the end. What else I can say about this movie? So yes, we do. So they go on this epic adventure. Of course, we do. It lives up to its name in this aspect that we do get some multiverse of madnessing, as in multiverse traveling and seeing other Earths. Though I will say that the one thing I didn't like, not enough to give it a deduction, but it's a thing I didn't like, was a missed opportunity to see and explore these different universes the way it should have been. Maybe in a Disney Plus show we could, but I feel like there was stories there to tell. If we would have just seen, it was just some missed opportunities with the multiverse traveling, nothing too big. Which is a bit expected for a 2-hour movie. So certain things are not going to be able to be done just because they got a cramp. This is a 2-hour something movie. I think it's 2 hours and 6 minutes. So you got 2 hours and 6 minutes of film that you're trying to cram this epicness into. So we travel in the multiverse. We get some good action. We meet some people. This will bring me to where I'm going to tell you the best scene that, to me, the scene that got me, was the best scene to me out of the whole movie, is the Illuminati scene. Now I can say this because we already know the Illuminati was going to be in there, so I'm not spoiling anything. But the scene with the Illuminati, the spoiler part is to tell you who the Illuminati are. But if you watch enough of the trailers, you got at least, at least 3 of the members. You already know 3 members of the Illuminati. So I'm trying to, how do I put this? Okay, so the best scene is to me was the Illuminati scene. That was the scene where if you was in the theaters when you saw Spider-Man No Way Home, you know how when Toby and Andrew showed up. Excuse me. That's when the crowd went. That's when the audience went crazy. This is for Doctor Strange. That's the Illuminati scene. The Illuminati scene is when, in the movie theater I was at, the crowd went crazy. The crowd cheered for everybody, but the funny thing was like you could tell that people didn't know certain people, because when I saw every Illuminati character, I cheered because I know my comic book characters. So I cheered. I was one of the few people that was still going for every person. Yeah, woo, yeah. You know, it was like certain people they went crazy for it. Certain people that was just like, yeah. And then, you know, you could hear people going, yeah, and other people like, you know, you could hear people like looking and whispering, like, who's that? Like, you know, why are people cheering for that person? Like, you could tell people was asking that question because it was certain people that was whispering, and you could hear talking because it was once it got to that person because they wanted to know why that person was being cheered. So, but that was like one of the experience of it. But the reason why that scene is my favorite scene is because a particular character. Now, if you haven't seen this movie, but you got to this point of my review video, when this particular character is introduced, listen. That's what I want y'all to do. When they say when the person goes, and this person, so and so, member of the Illuminati. When this person enters, that they what they do so perfectly with this movie is that because they know what they about to hit you with. They know they about to hit you with. So once that person is introduced, the audio or everything in the movie gets silent because you wait for this person to come into frame. And when you see that person come into frame, they play a certain theme, and that had me in the audience who knew hyped. Because we went absolutely ape when we heard that, because that was a full circle because I thought a previous franchise was going to do it, but they never did. So, you know, I always thought this would be cool. They put this in an actual movie, in a live action movie. That would be cool because, you know, people make fake, you know, intros for the different Marvel movies, and you know, this intro was used for a particular franchise, a live action franchise, but we never heard it officially in the MCU, and to hear it officially in the MCU is absolutely nuts. And that's why that was my favorite scene. Not just because the introduction of the Illuminati as a whole, but when they introduced this particular member of the Illuminati, they pay a particular thing. With that being said, because I take enough of your time, so with that being said, what else do I have to say about this movie that would give you would let you know that you should go see this movie? And I have to say, everything about this movie is good. The visuals, the characters, the story, everything is cool. Another thing I said, pacing. Pacing is a problem only because it's not a problem to take a point, but it's a problem because, like I said, once they starts ramping up, it just stays there and that until a certain point. So it's like kind of slow down because I wanted to get to know these people. But that being said, another thing is the cameos. Now, the cameos was going to be cameos with the Illuminati, but the cameos were hindered, I say, just because of the fact that it was a missed opportunity, not with the people. I was trying to figure out what I was going to say, but what I mean by the cameo, the one thing about the cameos that was bad was just that it was half of the rumored cameos. You know, it obviously was rumored, but it was a missed opportunity because the people that could have been in this movie and what you could have did, you know, setting up other franchises in the MCU, you missed out. They just missed the mark on that. So that's one thing about the cameos that was bad. The other thing about the cameos that was bad was that the way how they was used. I'll put it to you that way. The way how they was used was kind of like, it had you like, what was the point? Because then, like, you had me here, and I'm mind blown. But then just seconds later, the way you use them, the way you used them in this movie, then was just like, well, that was kind of underwhelming now. So it's like they double-edged sword this stuff. I haven't used that in a while in my reviews. It was like a double-edged sword. They used it properly. You know, so they used the one end, they used it good. They used it the way they're supposed to. But with the other end of the sword, they sticking themselves and messing it up at the same time. So it's like the cameos were good, but then they found a way to screw it up to where, as a moviegoer, as a comic book fan, it was just like, well, that was just pointless now. So, yeah, pacing the cameos. This is very much also. I want for the Wanda's part before I go. I want to say Wanda's part was very much. This is very much Westview and WandaVision. This is a continuation of WandaVision. This is very much Sam Raimi's movie because he got his fingerprints all over there. You could tell this was made by him. You could tell this was a continuation of WandaVision. I'll say the last thing before I give you my verdict was that the villain was kind of underwhelming. It was kind of underwhelming, and it was just because of it really did. It was really like, well, you kind of knew this was going to happen. I mean, obviously it was a teacher setting this up, but for that person to be the main villain and for that person's motive to be what it was just like, I kind of wanted better because you had so many opportunities for there to be a true villain, and we really got the villain of the movie was really that. So that hurt the movie a little bit, and I almost wanted to take a point away from that, but I enjoyed myself so much. I'm not, but I do hate that. I do not like. I won't say I don't like it. I just think it could have been done better. It could have been executed way better. Other than that though, everything else was cool. The multiverse and the different people we got to meet was cool. The stories that they told. So with that being said, I was going to give this movie a 9 out of 10, but I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 big ups just because it was good and I enjoyed myself. Despite the little nuances that irritated me, it didn't hurt enough for me to take a point away. Everything was forgiven. Everything was forgiven just because the rest was so good. I could forgive it. But let me know in the comments down below what you thought of this movie, if you've seen it without spoiling it. And if you enjoyed this review video, then you hit this button right there in the upper right corner for all of my reviews. And if you enjoyed this review video so much you want to support the channel, all you gotta do is hit that like, subscribe, share, hit that notification button, do all those great things. Because I really enjoy your feedback because it helps me do all of this much better. And as always, hit any one of these videos for more amazing content going away because I got more reviews and more gameplay, more reactions coming your way. Peace out. Love you guys.